So as a young piano student, I understood key signatures kind of in the most literal sense, that there were certain notes I had to sharp or flat, but outside of that I had no idea what it meant to be in a key, and my teachers had given me scales to practice, but there was no connection made whatsoever how that related to being in a key and how the key signature showed us what key we were in. So if you find yourself in that category, this is the perfect video for you, because I'm going to unpack all of that step by step so that you not only understand how key signatures work thoroughly, but you might also have some fun along the way. And if you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and on this channel we provide practical tutorials for piano and music theory to help you improve faster. So let's start by looking at the problem here. So we have our key signature. We see F sharp, C sharp. We understand that all of the Fs need to be sharp, all the Cs need to be sharp. But if you were like me, your typical approach to a piece of music would be, oh shoot, oh wait, oh that's a sharp there. Okay, so let me go ahead and write that in. All right, F sharp, and then oh, whoops, oh, there's another F sharp. So you see what I mean? So the sharps are more of sort of an inconvenient set of things to remember rather than telling us sort of what universe or what sort of tonal landscape we're in when we're playing a piece of music. If those terms have you sort of ready to click off, don't worry, I'm going to explain what all that means in just a moment. To put it as briefly as possible, the key signature tells us what key we're in, which is telling us what scale our piece of music is based on. So it would make sense to go back and start with scales and how that applies to our music. At least in Western tonal music, we have two main tonalities. We have major or major scales, and then we also have minor scales. For every major, we have a relative minor, so every key signature could be two different keys, the major or the minor. If that's a new concept for you, we have a video for that right here. And so let's take something like the key of D major. If you were like me, maybe your teacher gave you a scale book and you spent lots of time, figuring out fingerings and getting your hands coordinated, but it was never actually linked to actual music. So we're going to talk about that now. So when we have something like a D major scale, we can have a piece of music that's in the key of D major, and that means that the melody has been composed using that D major scale, and it also means that the harmonies or the chords have been built on that scale, meaning that we're building up triads on each note of the scale. So we have the 1 chord, the 2 chord, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, in this case in the key of D major. My favorite example to show students this is Joy to the World, because it starts with the entire scale at the beginning. So if I were playing Joy to the World in D major, I would be using the D major scale. I often refer to this as the universe of D major, and some people even associate different keys with different emotions. So Joy to the World in D major would be D major scale. See how when we play the scale and then we play the piece of music in that key, suddenly it starts to make a little more sense what it actually means to be in a key. Or let's say I wanted to do it in the key of B flat major. 2 flats, that would be B flat, E flat, and our key signature, same exact concept. I'm just using B flat major as my material for the music. And then of course we also have the minor keys. Let's say I wanted to do B flat major's relative minor, G minor, and say I wanted to go a little dark with Joy to the World, I could use natural minor on the way down, melodic minor, because that's what we do leading up to the tonic for melodic minor, and that's G minor. If that concept with melodic minor is new for you, I'll include a link to our tutorial on all 3 versions of minor scales. So next I'm going to show you a trick to figure out what key you're in, even if you're not familiar with all 24 major or minor scales yet. So we'll start with sharp keys, then we'll go to flat keys. Now we can have up to 7 sharps. You don't necessarily have to memorize all these right away, but let's say you have 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and those sharps will always be in the same order when you see them. And let's say you look at this and you have no idea what major or minor key has 3 sharps in it. A little trick you can do is take that very last sharp, which is G sharp, and then raise that by a half step, and that tells you the major key. In this case, it's A major, 3 sharps. And then if you want to figure out the minor, you're going to take that note you just found, the A, you're going to lower it 3 half steps, 1, 2, 3, and that'll bring you to the relative minor, in this case F sharp minor, same exact 3 sharps, we're just starting in a different place. And so you can do that with any sharp key signature. Again, finding that very last sharp, raising it a half step, and there's your major key. And then for flats, we also have a nifty trick. Let's say we have a key signature with 4 flats, like this, so it'll be B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, always the same 4 flats in that order. And the trick for this is to find the second flat from the end. Of course, this won't work when it's only 1 flat. In that case, you just have to remember that it's F major. But in this case, if we look at the second flat from the end, that's A flat. That's our major key. A flat major, 4 flats. And again, if we want to find the relative minor, just go down 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. Keep the same 4 flats. F minor. So again, for every key signature, we have a major option and a minor option. They're always going to use the same key signature because they basically use the same notes, just starting in different places. But using this nifty trick, you can find any key that you're in quickly, even if you haven't necessarily learned the scale yet. Now let's look at a couple music examples to help you tie all of this together. In this German dance, we have a key signature with 2 flats. Let's say you've never learned the major or minor key that has 2 flats in it. Again, just look second flat from the end, B flat, there's our major key. And then of course the other option could be G minor. So next step is to figure out what key we're actually in. And what's going to tell you that is the beginning and end of the piece, which usually start in the chord, or at least with the note of the home key. And you can also tell from the sonority, if it sounds happy or brighter, it's probably major. If it sounds a little sadder or spookier, it's probably minor. So if we take a look at this very first chord, I think it's fairly obvious. We've got a B flat major chord outlined here. Of course, it is in the title as well, but just for the sake of the exercise, we take a look at this first chord. It is B flat major, therefore we can confidently assume that we're in the key of B flat major here. The next step, and you should do this with any piece of music you ever learn, play the scale or practice the scale of that key. So in this case, it's B flat major. Practice B flat major scale thoroughly. Don't just practice it like an exercise too. Maybe you can try playing around in different directions, like, you know, even if you don't use the best fingerings, don't tell your teacher that. And then another fun thing you can do is just practice improvising with that scale, even if you just play sort of the root or the tonic in a low octave, and just practice playing up and down. That helps bring the scale that helps make the scale come to life and feel like music rather than this boring exercise. And so once you're thoroughly immersed in this scale and you've gotten a chance to play around with it, these flats that you have to keep track of don't feel like this big chore. I just know that I'm in the key of B flat major, and I just apply those flats automatically without really thinking about it because I know what key I'm in. Again, B flat. So again, hopefully that shows you how the scale and the music are linked. Let's take a look at another example, this time in minor. I went ahead and cut off the title there, not to give it away too quick. So once again, we have 2 sharps here. So let's say you haven't practiced those scales yet, you're not quite sure what it is. Start by taking that last sharp, that's that C sharp, raise it a half step. So if this were in major, it would be D major. And then again, for your minor option, go down 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. So that's B minor. So first we have to figure out whether we're in D major or B minor. And again, the first and last measures will usually tell you. Oh, I played that wrong. Let's try it again. So it sounds very minorish. It's basically kind of outlining a B minor chord there, so we can confidently say we're in the key of B minor here. Now for minors, you definitely want to practice the scale, but you want to practice all 3 versions. Natural minor, where you don't change anything that's in the key signature. Harmonic minor, which raises the 7th note. And the melodic minor, which raises 6 and 7 going up and then lowers them on the way down. Harmonic minor is going to prep you for some of those harmonies you're going to see there, and the melodic minor will prep you for some of the melodic figures you'll see in a piece of music that's in B minor. And again, if this is all new for you, these 3 different types of scales, check in the description. We have a full tutorial on those 3 scales. And so once again, once I've thoroughly immersed myself in this universe of B minor, where I can kind of play around with it like the back of my hand, when I play a piece of music that's in B minor, it does not feel like such a chore. I'm starting in B minor. Those sharps just are so intuitive now. There's A sharp from my harmonic minor, A sharp again, another A sharp from harmonic minor, and then I'm back to my tonic key. So once again, once you understand how the key signature tells you what scale your piece is in, which is basically the same thing as saying what key it's in, it makes these concepts so much more interesting rather than feeling like these annoying sharps or flats you have to remember for every piece you learn. If this is new for you, definitely let me know in the comments if it helped, and if you want to dive deeper into harmony, check out this video. It's a super short guide, but it's going to show you this awesome exercise that's going to unlock the concept of harmony for you in major and minor. I'll see you there.